idle creatures get you home? Is this a holiday?
We make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph.
Caesar!
Caesar! You liars! You stones! You worse than senseless things! Knew you not Pompey? Many a time and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements, to towers and windows, yea, to chimney tops, to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. And when you saw his chariot but appear, have you not made a universal shout? And do you now strew flowers in his way that comes in triumph over Pompey's blood? Be gone! Run to your houses! Fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague that needs must light on this ingratitude. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Who else would soar above the view of men and keep us all in servile fearfulness?
Caesar! 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 Caesar!
Who calls?
Bid every noise be still! Peace yet again!
Who is it in the press that calls on me? I hear a tongue shriller than all the music cry, Caesar! Speak! Caesar is turned to hear.
Beware the Ides of March!
What man is that?
A soothsayer bids you beware the Ides of March.
Set him before me. Let me see their face. You there, come from the throng. Speak once again.
Beware the Ides of March.
Oh, this is a dreamer. Let us leave them. Pass!
Beware the Ides of March.
Will you go see the order of the course?
Not I. I am not gamesome. I do lack some part of that quick spirit that is in Antony.
Tell me, good Brutus, can you see your face?
No, Cassius, for the eye sees not itself, but by reflection by some other things.
'Tis just, and very much lamented, Brutus, that you have no such mirror as will turn your hidden worthiness into your eye, that you might see your shadow.
Into what dangers would you lead me, Cassius, that you would have me seek into myself for that which is not in me?
Therefore, good Brutus, be prepared to hear. And since you know you cannot see yourself so well as by reflection, I, your glass, will modestly discover to yourself that of yourself which you yet know not of.
What means this shouting? I do fear the people choose Caesar for their king.
Aye, do you fear it? Then must I think you would not have it so?
I would not, Cassius. Yet I love him well. What is it that you would impart to me? If it be aught toward the general good, set honor in one eye and death in the other, and I will look on both indifferently. For I love the name of honor more than I fear death.
Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not be as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar. So are you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, "Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point? Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, "Help me, Cassius, or I sink." I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear, so from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. And this man has now become a god. And Cassius is a wretched creature and must bend his body of Caesar carelessly, but not on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake.
Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar.
Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus. And we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men, at some time, are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings. Brutus and Caesar. What should be in that Caesar? Why should that name be sounded more than yours? Write them together. Yours is fair a name. Sound them, it doth become the mouth as well. Weigh them, it is as heavy. Conjure with them. Brutus will start a spirit as soon as Caesar. Now, in the names of all the gods at once, upon what meat doth this our Caesar feed that he has grown so great? Age, thou art shamed. Rome, thou hast lost the breed of noble bloods. When could they say, till now that talked of Rome, that her wide walls encompassed but one man? Oh, you and I have heard our fathers say there was a Brutus once that would have brooked the eternal devil to keep his state in Rome as easily as a king.
What you would work me to, I have some aim. How I have thought of this and of these times I shall recount hereafter. What you have said, I will consider. Till then, my noble friend, chew upon this. Brutus had rather be a villager than to repute himself a son of Rome under these hard conditions as this time is like to lay upon us.
I am glad that my weak words have struck but thus much show of fire from Brutus.
Caesar!
Hey! Antonius!
Caesar.
Let me have men about me that are fat. Yon Cassius has a lean and hungry look. He thinks too much. Such men are dangerous.
Fear not, Caesar. He is not dangerous. He is a noble Roman and well given.
Would he were fatter! He reads much. He is a great observer, and he looks quite through the deeds of men. He loves no plays as thou dost, Antony. He hears no music. Seldom he smiles, and smiles in such a sort as if he mocked himself and scorned his spirit. Such men as he be never at heart's ease, whilst they behold a greater than themselves, and therefore are they very dangerous.
Aye, Casca, tell us what hath chanced today that Caesar looks so sad?
Why, there was a crown offered him, and being offered him, he put it by with the back of his hand thus, and then the people fell a-shouting.
What was the second noise for?
Why, for that too.
They shouted thrice. What was the last cry for?
Why, for that too.
Was the crown offered him thrice?
Aye, Mary was, and he put it by thrice, every time gentler than other, and at every putting by, mine honest neighbor shouted.
Who offered him the crown?
Why, Antony.
Tell us the manner of it, gentle Casca.
I saw Mark Antony offer him a crown, and as I told you, he put it by once. But for all that, to my thinking, he would fain have had it. Then he offered it to him again, then he put it by again, and then he offered it the third time. He put it the third time by, and still as he refused it, the rabblement hooted and clapped and uttered such a deal of stinking breath because Caesar refused the crown that it almost choked Caesar, for he swooned and fell down at it. And for mine own part, I durst not laugh for fear of opening my lips and receiving the bad air.
But soft, I pray you. What did Caesar swoon?
He fell down in marketplace and foamed at mouth and was speechless.
'Tis very like. He hath the falling sickness.
No, Caesar hath it not, but you and I and honest Casca, we have the falling sickness.
I know not what you mean by that, but I am sure Caesar fell down.
And after that he came thus sad away.
Aye.
Did Cicero say anything?
Aye. He spoke Greek.
To what effect?
Oh, those that understood him smiled at one another and shook their heads, but for mine own part, it was Greek to me. Fare thee well.
Tomorrow, if you please to speak with me, I will wait for you.
Till then, think of the world. Well, Brutus, thou art noble. Yet I see thy honorable metal may be wrought from that it is disposed. Caesar doth bear me hard, but he loves Brutus. If I were Brutus now and he were Cassius, he should not humor me. I will this night in several hands and at his window throw, as if they came from several citizens, writings, all tending to the great opinion that Rome holds of his name. And after this, let Caesar seat him sure, for we will shake him. Or worse days endure.
Good even, Casca. Brought you Caesar home. Why are you breathless? And why stare you so?
I have seen tempests when the scolding winds have rived the knotty oaks, and I have seen the ambitious ocean swell and rage and foam. But never till tonight, never till now did I go through a tempest dropping fire. Either there is a civil strife in heaven, or else the world, too saucy with the gods, incenses them to send destruction.
Indeed, it is a strange disposed time. Come Caesar to the capital tomorrow.
He doth, for he did bid Antonio send word to you he would be there tomorrow.
Who's there?
A Roman!
Casca, by your voice.
Your ear is good. Cassius, what night is this?
A very pleasing night to honest men.
Whoever knew the heavens menace so?
Those that have known the earth, so full of faults. For my part, I have walked about the streets submitting me unto the perilous night. And when the cross blue lightning seemed to open the breast of heaven, I did present myself, even in the aim and very flash of it.
But wherefore did you so much tempt the heavens? It is the part of men to fear and tremble when the most mighty gods by tokens send such dreadful heralds to astonish us.
You are dull, Casca. And those sparks of life that should be in a Roman you do want. Or else you use not. You look pale and gaze and put on fear and cast yourself in wonder to see the strange impatience of the heavens. But if you would consider the true cause why, you shall find that heaven hath infused them with these spirits to make them instruments of fear and warning unto some monstrous state. Now could I, Casca, name to thee a man most like this dreadful night, that thunders, lightens, opens graves, and roars, a man no mightier than thyself, or me.
'Tis Caesar that you mean, is it not, Cassius?
Let it be who it is.
Indeed. They say the senators tomorrow mean to establish Caesar as a king.
I know where I will wear this dagger then. Cassius from bondage will deliver Cassius. Therein, you gods, you make the weak most strong. Therein, you gods, you tyrants do defeat. If I know this, know all the world besides. That part of tyranny that I do bear, I can shake off at pleasure.
So can I. So every bondman in his own hand bears the power to cancel his captivity.
And why should Caesar be a tyrant then? Poor man. I know he would not be a wolf, but that he sees the Romans are but sheep. What trash is Rome? What rubbish! And what awful when it serves for the base matter to illuminate so vile a thing as Caesar. But I perhaps speak this before a willing bondman.
You speak to Casca! And to such a man that is no fleering telltale. Hold my hand. Be factious for redress of all these griefs, and I will set this foot of mine as far as who goes farthest.
There's a bargain made. Now know you, Casca, I have moved already some certain of the noblest minded Romans to undergo with me an enterprise of honorable, dangerous consequence.
Stand close a while, for here comes one in haste.
To Cinna, he is a friend. Cinna, where haste you so?
To find out you. Who's that?
It is Casca, one incorporate to our attempts. Am I not stayed for, Cinna?
Yes, you are. Oh, Cassius, if you could but win the noble Brutus to our party.
Be you content. Take thou this paper, and look you lay it in where Brutus may but find it, and throw this in at his window. That done, repair to Pompey's theater, where you shall find us. Come, Casca, you and I will yet ere day see Brutus at his house. 3 parts of him is ours already, and the man entire upon the next encounter yields him ours.
Oh, he sits high in all the people's hearts, and that which would appear offense in us. His countenance, like richest alchemy, will change to virtue and to worthiness.
Him and his worth and our great need of him you have right well conceded.
It must be by his death. For my part, I know no personal cause to spurn at him, but for the general, he would be crowned. How that might change his nature, there's the question. And to speak truth of Caesar, I have not known when his ambition swayed more than his reason. But 'tis a common proof that lowliness is young ambition's ladder, whereto the climber upward turns his face. But when he once attains the utmost round, he then unto the ladder turns his back, looks in the clouds, scorning the base degrees by which he did ascend. So Caesar may, then lest he may, prevent. And since the quarrel will bear no color for the thing he is, fashion it thus, that what he is, augmented, would run to these and these extremities, and therefore think him as a serpent's egg, which, hatched, would, as its kind, grow mischievous, and kill him in the shell.
Sir, searching the window for a flint, I found this paper thus sealed up, and I am sure it did not lie there when I went to bed.
Get you to bed again. Is not tomorrow, boy, the Ides of March?
I know not, sir.
Look in the calendar and bring me word.
I will, sir.
Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake and see thyself. Shall Rome, etc., speak, strike, redress? Brutus, thou sleepst. Awake. Such instigations have been often dropped where I have took them up. Shall Rome, etc., thus must I piece it out. Shall Rome stand under one man's awe? What, Rome? My ancestors did from the streets of Rome the Tarquin drive when he was called a king. Speak, strike, redress. Am I entreated to speak and strike? Oh, Rome, I make thee promise, if the redress will follow, Thou receivest thy full petition at the hand of Brutus.
Sir, March is wasted 15 days.
'Tis good. Go to the gate, somebody knocks. Since Cassius first did wet me against Caesar, I have not slept. Between the acting of a dreadful deed and the first motion, all the interim is like a phantasma or a hideous dream.
Sir, 'tis Cassius at the door who doth desire to see you.
Is he alone?
No, sir, there are more with him.
Do you know them?
No, sir. Their hats are plucked about their ears and half their faces buried in their cloaks.
Let him enter. They are the faction. O conspiracy, where wilt thou find a cavern dark enough to mask thy monstrous visage? Seek none conspiracy. Hide it in smiles and affability.
Good morrow, Brutus. Do we trouble you?
I have been up this hour, awake all night. Know I these men that come along with you?
Yes, every man of them. And no man here but honors you. And every one doth wish you had but that opinion of yourself, which every noble Roman bears of you. This is Decius Brutus.
He is welcome.
This Casca, this Cinna, and this Metellus Cimber.
They are all welcome.
Shall I entreat a word?
Here lies the east. Doth not the day break here?
No.
Oh, pardon, sir. It doth. Yon gray lines that fret the clouds are messengers of day.
Give me your hands all over, one by one.
And let us swear our resolution.
No, not an oath. What need we any spur but our own cause to prick us to redress? What other oath than honesty? To honesty engaged, that this shall be, or we will fall for it. But do not stain the even virtue of our enterprise, nor the insuppressive metal of our spirits, to think that or our cause or our performance did need an oath. When every drop of blood that every Roman bears, and nobly bears, is guilty of a several bastardy if he do break the smallest particle of any promise that hath passed from him.
Shall no man else be touched, but only Caesar?
I think it is not meet Mark Antony, so well beloved of Caesar, should outlive Caesar. We shall find of him a shrewd contriver, which to prevent, let Antony and Caesar fall together.
Our course will seem too bloody, Caius Cassius, to cut the head off and then hack the limbs, like wrath in death and envy afterward, for Antony is but a limb of Caesar. Let's be sacrificers, but not butchers, Caius. Let's kill him boldly, but not wrathfully. Let's carve him as a dish fit for the gods, not hew him as a carcass fit for hounds. And for Mark Antony, think not of him, for he can do no more than Caesar's arm when Caesar's head is off.
Yet I fear him. For in the engrafted love he bears to Caesar.
Alas, good Cassius, do not think of him. If he love Caesar, all that he can do is to himself take thought and die for Caesar. That were much he should, for he is given to sports, to wildness, and much company.
There is no fear in him. Let him not die, for he will live and laugh at this hereafter. 'Tis time to part.
But it is doubtful yet whether Caesar will come forth today or no. For he is superstitious, grown of late. It may be the terror of this night may hold him from the capital today.
Never fear that. If he be so resolved, I can o'ersway him, for I can give his humor the true bent, and I will bring him to the capital.
We'll leave you, Brutus. And friends, disperse yourselves, but all remember what you have said. And show yourselves true Romans.
Good gentlemen, look fresh and merrily. Let not our looks put on our purposes, but bear it as our Roman actors do, with untired spirits and formal constancy. And so good morrow to you, everyone.
Brutus, my lord.
Portia, what mean you? Wherefore rise you now? It is not for your health thus to commit your weak condition to the raw cold morning.
Not for yours neither. You've ungently, Brutus, stole from my bed. And yesternight at supper you suddenly arose and walked about, musing and sighing with your arms across. And when I asked you what the matter was, you stared upon me with ungentle looks. I urged you further, yet you answered not, but with an angry wafture of your hand gave sign for me to leave you. So I did, fearing to strengthen that impatience which seemed too much enkindled. It will not let you eat, nor talk, nor sleep. And could it work so much upon your shape as it hath much prevailed on your condition, I should not know you, Brutus. Dear my lord, make me acquainted with your cause of grief.
I am not well in health, and that is all.
Brutus is wise, and were he not in health, he would embrace the means to come by it.
Why, so I do. Good Portia, go to bed.
Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed and tempt the roomy and unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus. You have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees, I charm you by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy, and what men tonight have had resort to you. For here have been some 6 or 7 who did hide their faces even from darkness.
Kneel not, gentle Portia.
I should not need if you were gentle, Brutus. Within the bond of marriage, tell me, Brutus, is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself, but as it were in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure. If it be no more, Portia is Brutus' harlot, not his wife.
You are my true and honorable wife, as dear to me as are the ruddy drops that visit my sad heart.
If this were true, then should I know this secret. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman that Lord Brutus took to wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels. I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets?
O you gods, render me worthy of this noble wife, and by thy bosom shall partake the secrets of my heart. All my engagements I will construe to thee.
What mean you, Caesar? Think you to walk forth? You shall not stir out of your house today.
Caesar shall forth. The things that threatened me ne'er looked but on my back. When they shall see the face of Caesar, they are vanished.
Caesar, I never stood on ceremonies, yet now they fright me. There is one within recounts most horrid sight seen by the watch. A lioness that whelped in the streets, and graves have yawned and yielded up their dead. Fierce, fiery warriors fought upon the clouds in ranks and squadrons in right form of war, which drizzled blood upon the capital. Oh, Caesar, these things are beyond all use, and I do fear them.
What can be avoided whose end is purposed by the mighty gods? Yet Caesar shall go forth, for these predictions are to the world in general as to Caesar.
When beggars die, there are no comets seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the deaths of princes.
Cowards die many times before their deaths. The valiant never taste of death but once. Of all the wonders I yet have heard, it seems to me most strange that men should fear, seeing that death, a necessary end, will come when it will come.
Alas, my lord! Your wisdom is consumed in confidence. Do not go forth today. Call it my fear that keeps you in the house and not your own. We'll send Mark Antony to the Senate House, and he shall say you are not well.
Mark Antony shall say I am not well, and for thy humor I will stay at home. Here's Casca. He shall tell them so.
Caesar, all hail! Good morrow, worthy Caesar. I come to fetch you to the Senate House.
And you are come in very happy time to bear my greeting to the senators and tell them that I will not come today. Cannot is false, and that I dare not falser. I will not come today. Tell them so, Casca.
Say he is sick.
Shall Caesar send a lie? Go! Tell them Caesar will not come.
Most mighty Caesar, let me know some cause, lest I be laughed at when I tell them so.
The cause is in my will. I will not come. That is enough to satisfy the Senate. But for your private satisfaction, because I love you, I will let you know. Calpurnia here, my wife, stays me at home. She dreamt tonight she saw my statue, which like a fountain with 100 spouts did run pure blood. And many lusty Romans came smiling and did bathe their hands in it. And these does she apply for warnings and portents and evils imminent, and on her knee hath begged that I will stay at home today.
This dream is all misinterpreted. It was a vision, fair and fortunate. Your statue spouting blood in many pipes in which so many smiling Romans bathed signifies that from you great Rome shall suck reviving blood, and that great men shall press for tinctures, stains, relics, and cognizance. This, by Calpurnia's dream, is signified.
And this way have you well expounded it.
I have, when you have heard what I can say. And know it now, the Senate have concluded to give this day a crown to mighty Caesar. If you shall send them word you will not come, their minds may change. Besides, it were a mock apt to be rendered for someone to say, break up the Senate till another time when Caesar's wife shall meet with better dreams. If Caesar hide himself, shall they not whisper, lo, Caesar is afraid? Pardon me, Caesar, for it is my dear, dear love to your proceeding that bids me tell you this.
How foolish do your fears seem now, Calpurnia? I'm ashamed I did yield to them. Give me my robe, for I will go. Be near me, that I may remember you.
Caesar, I will. And so near will I be that your best friends shall wish I had been further.
Caesar! Beware of Brutus! Take heed of Cassius! Come not near Casca! Have an eye to Cinna! Mark well Metellus Cimber! Decius Brutus loves thee not! There is but one mind in all these, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou beest not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee. The Ides of March are come. The Ides of March are come. The Ides of March are come.
The Ides of March are come.
Aye, Caesar, but not gone.
Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention.
Where is Metellus Cimber? Let him go and presently prefer his suit to Caesar.
He is addressed. Press near and second him.
Casca, you are the first that rears your hand.
Are we all ready? What is now amiss that Caesar and his Senate must redress?
Most high, most mighty, and most puissant Caesar, Metellus Cimber throws before thy seat an humble heart.
I must prevent thee, Cimber. These couchings and these lowly courtesies might fire the blood of ordinary men, and turn preordinance and first decree into the law of children. Be not fond to think that Caesar bears such rebel blood that will be thawed from the true quality with that which melteth fools. I mean sweet words, low crooked curtsies, and base spaniel fawning. Thy brother by decree is banished. If thou dost bend and pray and fawn for him, I spurn thee like a cur out of my way. No, Caesar doth not wrong, nor without cause will he be satisfied.
Is there no voice more worthy than my own to sound more sweetly in great Caesar's ear for the repealing of my banished brother?
I kiss thy hand, but not in flattery, Caesar, desiring thee that Publius Cimber may have an immediate freedom of repeal.
What, Brutus? Pardon, Caesar. Caesar, pardon. As low as to thy foot doth Cassius fall to beg enfranchisement for Publius Cimber. I could be well moved if I were as you. If I could pray to move, prayers would move me. But I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks. They are all fire, and every one doth shine. But there is but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world, 'tis furnished well with men, and men are flesh and blood and apprehensive. Yet in the number I do know but one that unassailable holds on his rank, unshaked of motion. And that I am he, let me a little show it, even in this, that I was constant. Cimber should be banished, and constant do remain to keep him so.
Oh, Caesar!
Hence, with the lift up Olympus,
Great Caesar!
that the Brutus bootless kneel.
Speak hands for me!
Et tu, Brutin?
Liberty! Freedom! Tyranny is dead!
Liberty, freedom, and enfranchisement.
People and senators, be not affrighted. Stand still, fly not. Ambition's debt is paid. Fates, we shall know your pleasures. That we will die, we know. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon.
Why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death.
So are we Caesar's friends that have thus abridged his time of fearing death? Stoop, Romans, stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood up to the elbows and besmear our swords. Then walk we forth, even to the marketplace, and waving our red weapons o'er our heads, let's all cry, peace, freedom, and liberty.
Stoop then, and watch. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over, in states unborn and accents yet unknown? So often shall the not of us be called the men that gave their country liberty.
What, shall we forth?
Aye, every man away. Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome.
Oh, mighty Caesar, dost thou lie so low? Are all thy conquests, glories, triumphs, spoils shrunk to this little measure? Fare thee well.
I know not, gentlemen, what you intend. Who else must be let blood? Who else is rank? If I myself, there is no hour so fit as Caesar's death hour, nor no instrument of half that worth as those your swords, made rich with the most noble blood of all this world. I do beseech you, if you bear me hard now, whilst your purpled hands do reek and smoke fulfill your pleasure. Live 1,000 years, I shall not find myself so apt to die. No place will please me so, no mean of death as here, by Caesar and by you cut off, the choice and master spirits of this age.
Oh, Antony, beg not your death of us! Though now we must appear bloody and cruel, our hearts you see not, they are pitiful. And pity to the general wrong of Rome, as fire drives out fire, so pity, pity hath done this deed on Caesar. For your part, to you our swords have leaden points, Mark Antony. Our arms in strength of malice, and our hearts of brother's temper do receive you in with all kind love, good thoughts, and reverence.
Your voice shall be as strong as any man's in the disposing of new dignities.
Only be patient till we have appeased the multitude beside themselves with fear, and then will we deliver you the cause why I, that did love Caesar when I struck him, have thus proceeded.
I doubt not of your wisdom. Let each man render me his bloody hand. First, Marcus Brutus, will I shake with you? Next, Caius Cassius, do I take your hand? Now yours, Metellus. Yours, Cinna. My most valiant Casca, yours. Yours, Decius. Gentlemen, all. Alas, what shall I say? My credit now stands on such slippery ground that one of two bad ways you must conceit me, either a coward or a flatterer. That I did love thee, Caesar, ah, 'tis true. If then thy spirit look upon us now, shall it not grieve thee dearer than thy death to see thy Antony making his peace, shaking the bloody fingers of thy foes, oh, most noble, in the presence of thy corpse? Had I as many eyes as thou hast wounds, weeping as fast as they stream forth thy blood, it would become me better than to close in terms of friendship with thine enemies. So pardon me, Julius. Here was thou bathed, brave heart. Here didst thou fall, and here thy hunters stand, signed in thy spoils and crimsoned in thy leaf. Like a deer strucken by many princes, dost thou here lie?
Mark Antony!
Pardon me, Caius Cassius, the enemies of Caesar will say this, that in a friend it is cold modesty.
I blame you not for praising Caesar so. But what compact mean you to have with us? Will you be pricked a number of our friends, or shall we on and not depend on you?
Therefore I shook your hands, but was indeed swayed from the point by looking down on Caesar. Friends am I with you all, and love you all, upon this hope that you shall give me reasons why and wherein Caesar was dangerous.
Or else were this a savage spectacle. Our reasons are so full of good regard that were you Antony, the son of Caesar, you should be satisfied.
That's all I ask. And moreover, suitor, that I may produce his body to the marketplace, and in the pulpit, as becomes a friend, speak in the order of his funeral.
You shall, Mark Antony.
Brutus, a word with you. You know not what you do. Do not consent that Antony speak in his funeral. Know you how much the people may be moved by that which he will utter?
By your pardon, I will myself into the pulpit first, and show the reason for our Caesar's death. What Antony shall speak, I will protest he speaks by leave and by permission. It shall advantage more than do us wrong.
I know not what may fall. I like it not.
Mark Antony, here, take you Caesar's body. You shall not in your funeral speech blame us, but speak all good you can of Caesar, and say you do it by our permission, else shall you not have any hand at all about his funeral.
Be it so, I do desire no more.
Prepare the body then and follow us.
Pardon me, thou bleeding piece of earth, that I am meek and gentle with these butchers. Thou art the ruins of the noblest man that ever lived in the tide of times. Woe to the hand that shed this costly blood. Over thy wounds now do I prophesy, which like dumb mouths do ope their ruby lips to beg the voice and utterance of my tongue. A curse shall light upon the limbs of men. Domestic fury and fierce civil strife shall cumber all the parts of Italy. Blood and destruction shall be so in use, and dreadful objects so familiar that mothers shall but smile when they behold their infants quartered with the hands of war. And Caesar's spirit, ranging for revenge, with Otte by his side, come hot from hell, shall in these confines, with a monarch's voice, cry havoc, and let slip the dogs of war! That this foul deed shall smell above the earth, with carrion men groaning for burial. You serve Octavius Caesar, do you not? Post back with speed, and tell him what hath chanced. Here is a mourning Rome, a dangerous Rome. No Rome of safety for Octavius yet. I hence, and tell him so. Yet stay a while. Thou shalt not back till I have borne this course into the marketplace. There shall I try in my oration how the people take the cruel issue of these bloody men, according to the which you shall report back to young Octavius the state of things. Lend me thy hand.
Romans, countrymen, and lovers, hear me for my cause, and be silent that you may hear. Believe me for mine honor, and have respect to mine honor that you may believe. If there be any in this assembly, any dear friend of Caesar's, to him I say, that Brutus' love to Caesar was no less than his. If then that friend demand why Brutus rose against Caesar, this is my answer. Not that I loved Caesar less, but that I loved Rome more. Had you rather Caesar were living and die all slaves than that Caesar were dead to live all free men? As Caesar loved me, I weep for him. As he was fortunate, I rejoice at it. As he was valiant, I honor him. But as he was ambitious, I slew him. There is tears for his love, joy for his fortune, honor for his valor, and death for his ambition. Who is here so base that would be a bondman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so rude that would not be a Roman? If any speak, for him have I offended. Who is here so vile that will not love his country? If any speak, for him have I offended. I pause for a reply.
None.
None.
Then none have I offended. I have done no more to Caesar than you shall do to Brutus. Here comes his body, mourned by Mark Antony, who, though he had no hand in his death, shall receive the benefit of his dying, a place in the commonwealth. As which of you shall not? With this I depart, that as I slew my best lover for the good of Rome, I have the same dagger for myself when it shall please my country to need my death.
Live, Brutus! Live!
Bring him with triumph home
Live!
unto his house.
Give him a statue with his ancestors.
Let him be Caesar!
Caesar's better part shall be crowned in Brutus.
My countrymen!
Brutus!
Good countrymen, stay here with Antony. Do grace to Caesar's corpse, and grace his speech tending to Caesar's glories, which Mark Antony, by our permission, is allowed to make. I do beseech you, not a man depart, save I alone, till Antony have spoke.
For Brutus' sake am I beholding to you.
'Twere best he speak no harm of Brutus here.
This Caesar was a tyrant.
Nay, that's certain. We're blessed that Rome is rid of him. Brutus! 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 Brutus!
Let us hear what Antony can say.
Brutus!
You gentle Romans!
Brutus! Brutus! Brutus!
Praise! Romans! Countrymen! Lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evil that men do lives after them. The good is often interred with their bones. So let it be with Caesar. The noble Brutus had told you Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous fault, and grievously hath Caesar answered it. Here under leave of Brutus and the rest, for Brutus is an honorable man. So are they all honorable men. Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He hath brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransoms did the general coffers fill. Did this in Caesar seem ambitious? But Brutus says he was ambitious. And Brutus is an honorable man. You all did see that on the Lupercal I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet Brutus says he was ambitious, and sure, he's an honorable man. I speak not to disprove what Brutus spoke, yet here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you then to mourn for him? Oh, judgment, thou art fled to brutish beasts, and men have lost their reason. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar, and I must pause till it come back to me.
Methinks there is much reason in his sayings.
If thou consider rightly of the matter, Caesar has had great wrong.
Has he masters?
I fear there will a worse come in his place.
Mark you his words, he would not take the crown. Therefore 'tis certain he was not ambitious.
If it be found so, some will dear abide it.
Poor soul. His eyes are red as fire with weeping.
There's not a nobler man in Rome than Antony.
Now, mark him, he begins again to speak.
But yesterday the word of Caesar might have stood against the world. Now lies he there, and none so poor to do him reverence. Oh, masters, were I disposed to stir your hearts and minds to mutiny and rage, I should do Brutus wrong and Cassius wrong, who you all know are honorable men. I will not do them wrong. I will rather choose to wrong the dead, to wrong myself and you, than I will wrong such honorable men. But here's a parchment with the seal of Caesar. I found it in his closet. 'Tis his will. Let but the commons hear this testament, which, pardon me, I do not mean to read, and they will go and kiss dead Caesar's wounds, and dip a napkin in his sacred blood. Yea, beg a hair of him for memory, and dying, mention it within their wills, bequeathing it as a rich legacy unto their issue.
We'll hear the will. Read it, Mark Antony.
Read the
The
will.
will.
Let us
The will.
We'll hear the
That's
will.
great, guys!
We'll hear the
That's
will.
great!
Please,
I
the
must
will.
not read it. It is not meet. You know how Caesar loved you. Hearing the will of Caesar, it will inflame you. It will make you mad. It is good you know not you are his heirs, for if you should, what should come of it?
Read the will.
Anthony,
We'll hear it
You
out.
shall
We'll
read
hear
the
the
will.
Let us hear it.
Caesar's
And
will.
Will you be patient?
Jesus.
Will you
Will.
stay a while? I have shot myself to tell you of it. I fear I wrong the honorable men whose daggers have stabbed Caesar. I can fear it.
They were traitors, honorable men.
The will,
The
Antony.
testament.
They were
The
villains.
Read the will.
You will compel me then to read the will?
Yes.
Then let me show you him that made the will. If you have tears, prepare to shed them now. You all do know this mantle. I remember the first time ever Caesar put it on. 'Twas on a summer's evening in his tent. That day he overcame the nervii. Look, in this place ran Cassius' dagger through. See what a rent the envious Casca made. Through this the well-beloved Brutus stabbed. And as he plucked his cursed steel away, mark how the blood of Caesar followed, as rushing out of doors to be resolved if Brutus so unkindly knocked or no. For Brutus, as you know, was Caesar's angel. Judge, oh you gods, how dearly Caesar loved him. This was the most unkindest cut of all. For as the noble Caesar saw him stab, ingratitude more strong than traitor's arms quite vanquished him. Then great Caesar fell. Oh, what a fall was there, my countrymen. Then I and you and all of us fell down, whilst bloody treason flourished over us. Oh, weep you now, and I perceive you feel the dint of pity. These are gracious drops, kind souls. What? Weep you when you thus behold our Caesar's vesture wounded? Look you here! Here is himself, marred as you see with traitors.
Oh, piteous spectacle.
Oh, noble Caesar.
Oh, woeful day.
Oh, traitors, villains.
Most bloody sight.
We will be revenged.
Revenge!
Revenge! Fire!
My friends! Sweet friends! Let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They that have done this deed are honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not that made them do it. They are wise and honorable and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man that loved his friend. And that they know full well that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor worth, action, nor utterance, nor power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I tell you that which you yourselves do know. show you sweet Caesar's wounds, poor, poor dumb mouths, and bid them speak for me. But were I Brutus, and Brutus Antony, there where an Antony would ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to rise and mutiny!
We'll mutiny!
Mutiny!
We'll burn the house of Brutus!
Away then, seek the conspirators!
Fire!
Yet hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak!
Hear Antony, most noble Antony.
What friends you go to do, you know not what. Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then, you have forgot the will I told you of.
Most true, the will. Let's say it here, the will.
Here is the will, and under Caesar's seal. To every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 drachmas.
Most noble Caesar, we'll revenge his death.
Oh, royal Caesar!
Hear me with patience.
Peace, ho.
Moreover, he hath left you all his walks, his private arbors and newly planted orchards on this side Tiber. He hath left them you and your heirs forever. Common pleasures to walk abroad and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar. When comes such another?
Never! Never. Come. Away. Away! We'll burn his body in the holy place. Take up the body. And with the brands, fire the traitors' houses.
Go, fetch fire.
Pluck down benches!
Pluck down benches!
Pluck down forms!
Pluck down
Pluck down
forms!
windows!
Pluck down windows!
anything!
Anything!
Caesar! 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 Caesar!
Now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what course thou wilt. Now to Octavius.
What is your name?
Whither are you going?
Where do you dwell?
Are you a married man or a bachelor?
Answer every man directly.
I. And briefly.
Aye, and wisely.
Aye, and truly, you were best.
What is my name? Whither am I going? Directly, I am going to Caesar's funeral.
As a friend or an enemy?
As a friend.
Oh, that matter is answered directly.
For your dwelling. Briefly.
Briefly, I dwell by the capital.
And your name, sir. Truly.
Truly, my name is Cinna.
Tear him to pieces. He's a conspirator.
I am Cinna the poet. I am Cinna the poet.
Tear him for his bad verses! Tear him for his bad verses!
I am not Cinna the conspirator.
Oh, that is no matter. His name is Cinna. Pluck but his name out of his heart and turn him going.
Tear him.
Tear him! Tear him!
Tear him!
Come, brands! Ho! Firebrands to Brutus, to Cassius! Away! Go! Some to Decius' house, and some to Casca's. Burn all!
This many then shall die. Their names are pricked.
Your brother too must die. Consent, Eulepidus.
I do consent.
Prick him down, Antony.
Upon condition Publius shall not live. Who is your sister's son, Mark Antony?
He shall not live. Look, with the spot, I damn him. This is a slight, unmeritable man, meet to be sent on errands, Is it fit the threefold world divided he should stand one of the three to share it?
So you thought him, and took his voice who should be pricked to die in our black sentence and prescription.
Octavius, I have seen more days than you, and though we lay these honors on this man to ease ourselves of diverse slanderous loads, he shall but bear them as the ass bears gold, to groan and sweat under the business.
You may do your will, but he's a tried and valiant soldier.
So's my horse, Octavius. It is a creature that I teach to fight, to wind, to stop, to run directly on. His corporal motion governed by my spirit. Do not talk of him, but as a property. And now, Octavius, listen. Brutus and Cassius are levying powers. We must straight make head. Therefore, let our alliance be combined. Our best friends made, our means stretched. And let us presently go sit in council how covert matters may be best disclosed, and open perils surest answered.
Let us do so, for we are at the stake and bait about with many enemies. Some that smile have in their hearts, I fear, millions of mischiefs.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong. That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I knew the man was slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
At such a time as this, it is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers.
I an itching palm? You know that you are Brutus that speaks this, or by the gods this speech were else your last.
Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all this world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bathe the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to. You are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself. Have mind upon your health. Tempt me no farther.
Away, slight man.
Impossible.
Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler? Shall I be frighted when a madman stares?
Oh, you gods! You gods! Must I endure all this?
All this? Aye, more. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? By the gods, you shall digest the venom of your spleen, though it do split you.
Is it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier? Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true, and it shall please me well. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats, for I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. By heaven, I had rather coin my heart and drop my blood for drachmas than to wring from the hard hands of peasants their vile trash by any indirection. I did send to you for gold to pay my legions, which you denied me. Was that done like Cassius?
I denied you not.
You did!
I did not! He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus have rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they
till you practice them on me!
Love me not!
I do not like your faults.
The friendly eye could never see such
A
faults!
flatterers would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come! Antony! And young Octavius! Come! Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius! For Cassius is weary of the world, hated by one he loves! Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes! There's my dagger, and here my naked breast, within a heart. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike as thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will, it shall have scope. Do what you will, dishonor shall be humor. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark and is straight cold again.
Has Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too. Oh, Cassius, I am sick of many griefs. Portia is dead.
Portia?
She is dead.
How escapedst I killing when I crossed you so? Upon what sickness?
Impatience of my absence, and grief that young Octavius with Mark Antony have made themselves so strong. For with her death those tidings came. With this she fell distract, and her attendants absent. Swallowed fire.
Oh, you immortal gods.
Speak no more of her. Welcome, good Casca.
I have here received letters that young Octavius and Mark Antony come down upon us with a mighty power, bending their expedition toward Philippi.
With what addition?
That by prescription and bills of outlawry, Octavius, Antony, and Lepidus have put to death 100 senators.
What think you of marching to Philippi presently?
I do not think it good.
Your reason.
This it is. 'Tis better that the enemy seek us. So shall he waste his means, weary his soldiers, doing himself offense, whilst we, lying still, are full of rest, defense, and nimbleness.
The enemy increaseth every day. We at the height are ready to decline. There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. On such a full sea are we now afloat, and we must take the current when it serves, or lose our ventures.
Then with your will, go on. We'll along ourselves and meet them at Philippi.
There is no more to say.
No more. Good night.
Good night and good repose.
Oh, my dear brother. This was an ill beginning of the night. Never come such division between our souls. Let it not, Brutus.
Everything is well. Good night. Good night, good brother. Lucius, where is your instrument?
Here in the tent.
What, speakst thou drowsily? Oh, poor knave, I blame thee not, thou art o'erwatched. Canst thou hold up thy heavy eyes and touch thine instrument a strain or two?
Aye, my lord, and it please you.
I will not hold thee long. If I do live, I will be good to thee. This is a sleepy tune. O murderous slumber, layest thou thy leaden mace upon my boy that plays thee music? O gentle knave, good night. I shall not do thee so much wrong to wake thee. How ill this taper burns! Ah, who comes here? I think it is the weakness of mine eyes that shapes this monstrous apparition. It comes upon me. Art thou anything? Art thou some god? Some angel? Or some devil that makes my blood cold and my hair to stare? Speak to me what thou art!
Thy evil spirit, Brutus.
Why comest thou?
To tell thee thou shalt see me at Philippi.
Well, then I shall see thee again.
Aye, at Philippi.
Why, I shall see thee at Philippi then. Now I have taken heart, thou vanishest. Ill spirit, I would have more talk with thee. Boy, Lucius! Lucius, awake!
My lord!
Didst thou see anything?
No, my lord.
Saw you anything?
No, my lord, I saw nothing.
Go. Commend me to my brother Cassius. Bid him set on his powers betimes before, and we will follow.
Now, Antony, our hopes are answered. The enemy comes on in gallant show. Their bloody sign of battle is hung out, and something to be done immediately.
Octavius, lead your battle softly on upon the left hand of the Eden field.
Upon the right hand, I keep thou the left.
Why do you cross me in this exigent?
I do not cross you, but I will do so.
They stand and will have parley.
Shall we give sign of battle?
No, Caesar, we will answer on their charge.
Words before blows. Is it so, countrymen?
Oh, not that we love words better as you do.
Good words are better than bad strokes, Octavius.
And your bad strokes, Brutus, you give good words. Witness the hole you made in Caesar's heart, crying, "Long live! Hail, Caesar!"
Antony, the posture of your blows are yet unknown, but for your words, they rob the hive bees and leave them honeyless.
Not stingless, too.
Oh, yes, and soundless, too. For you have stolen their buzzing, Antony, and very wisely threat before you sting.
Villains! You did not so when your vile daggers hacked one another in the sides of Caesar. You showed your teeth like apes, and fawned like hounds, and bowed like bondsmen, kissing Caesar's feet, whilst damned Casca from behind like a cur struck Caesar on the neck. Oh, you flatterers!
Flatterers! Now, Brutus, thank yourself. This tongue had not offended so today if Cassius might have ruled.
Come, the cause! If arguing make us sweat, the proof of it will turn to redder drops. Look, I draw a sword against conspirators. When think you that the sword goes up again? Never till Caesar's 33 wounds be well avenged. I was not born to die on Brutus' sword.
Oh, if thou wert the noblest of thy strain, young man, thou couldst not die more honorable.
A peevish schoolboy, worthless of such honor, joined with a masker and a reveler.
Old Cassius, still!
Come, Antony! Away! Defiant traitors, hurl we in your teeth. If you dare fight today, come to the field. If not, when you have stomachs.
The storm is up, and all is on the hazard.
This is my birthday, as this very day was Cassius born. Give me thy hand, Brutus. If we do lose this battle, then is this the very last time we shall speak together? Are you contented to be led in triumph through the streets of Rome?
No, Cassius, no. Think not, thou noble Roman, that ever Brutus shall go bound to Rome. This day must end that work the Ides of March begun. And whether we shall meet again, I know not. Therefore, our everlasting farewell take. Forever and forever farewell, Cassius. If we do meet again, why, we shall smile. If not, why then this parting was well made.
Forever and forever farewell, Brutus. If we do meet again, we'll smile, indeed. If not, 'tis true, this parting was well made.
Why then lead on. Oh, that a man might know the end of this day's business ere it come. But it sufficeth that the day will end, and then the end is known. Come, ho, away!
The villains fly! Myself, if to mine own turned enemy!
Oh, Cassius! Brutus gave the word too early, who having some advantage on Octavius took it too eagerly. His soldiers fell to spoil, whilst we by Antony are all enclosed. Fly, therefore, noble Cassius, fly far off!
Are those my tents where I perceive the fire?
They are, my lord.
This day I breathed first. Time is come round. And where I did begin, there shall I end. My life is run his compass. Oh, coward that I am to live so long to see my best friend ta'en before my face. Come hither, sirrah, come now. Keep thine oath. And with this good sword that ran through Caesar's bowels, search this bosom, stand not to answer. Here, take thou the hilts. And when my face is covered, as 'tis now, guide thou the sword. Caesar, thou art revenged. Even with the sword that killed thee.
Oh, my heart! Cassius is no more. Oh, setting sun, as in thy red rays thou dost sink tonight, so in his red blood Cassius' day is set. The sun of Rome is set. Our day is gone.
Ah! Julius Caesar! Thou art mighty yet. Thy spirit walks abroad and turns our swords in our own proper entrails. The last of all the Romans. Fare thee well. Friends, I owe more tears to this dead man than you shall see me pay. I shall find time, Cassius. I shall find time. Come, let us to the field. And Romans, yet ere night, we shall try fortune in a second fight! The ghost of Caesar hath appeared to me too several times by night. At Sardis once, and this last night here in Philippi field. I know my hour is come. Our enemies have beat us to the pit. I shall have glory by this losing day, more than Octavius and Mark Antony by this vile conquest shall attain unto. So fare you well at once, for Brutus' tongue hath almost ended his life's history. Night hangs upon mine eyes. My bones would rest, that have but labored to attain this hour.
Fly, my lord, fly!
I prithee, Lucius, stand up by thy lord. Thou art a fellow of good respect. Thy life hath had some smatch of honor in it. Hold then my sword, and turn away thy face, whiles I do run upon it. Wilt thou, Lucius!
Give me your hand first. Fare you well, my lord.
Farewell, good Lucius. Caesar, now be still. I killed not thee with half so good a will.
What man is that? Where is thy master?
Free from the bondage you are in. The conquerors can but make a fire of him, for Brutus only overcame himself, and no man else hath honor by his death.
How died thy master, Lucius?
I held the sword then. He did run on it.
This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general honest thought and common good for all, made one of them. His life was gentle, and the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to all the world, this was a man.
According to his virtue, let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest, and let's away, to part the glories of this happy day.